Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Gambling Lab. We are back here today with Brian, Paul Murphy, and myself, TJ. We're going to bring you a little bit into what happened last year at the Memorial, and then we're going to talk real quick about what I call the Parmesan Championship. Actually, it's called the Palmetto Championship, but we'll get into that. Boys, tell us where you're calling in from tonight. Go ahead, Pref.
Well, last week at the Memorial. Last year was intense at the Memorial.
Did I say last year?
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, we need to think of it as last year just because it was just that bad the way things happened.
Yeah, it was.
Put this back behind us.
Some people had money on Cantlay to win, so everything went in their favor.
Hey, and it was just a situation I feel like you could talk for hours about. I'm home at CT. We're about to get absolutely flattened by a storm right now, I think, coming in. So hopefully that's gone by the weekend. But honestly, once I heard what happened to Rahm, I watched very, very limited golf. That was, in my opinion, dude, there were so many options. First of all, the way they handled it, horrible. Him, I guess he's an anti-vaxxer or whatever. I guess he's not getting it. So I don't know. I feel like he could have gotten more tests. I think they went off the basis of one test, and then they were just like, okay, goodbye. And I think he could have played by himself. Because here's the thing. Isn't technically Morikawa and whoever he's playing with, aren't they technically exposed? Shouldn't they have gotten booted too? I mean, isn't that?
Unless they had the vaccine, which very easily they could have had the vaccine. If they do, then they could be around it, and they don't have to quarantine and stuff like that.
Right.
I guess the protocol that led up to it, right? I think he was exposed and he knew before going into the tournament. He took a test right before the tournament and then basically every day. So he was in agreement to taking the tests. And it just so happens that they found out Saturday. They reran the test because they knew how big this is going to be when it comes out. And it confirmed it a second time on Saturday. Then they broke it to him at the golf course. And that's where they saw him breaking down right on the side there. But yeah, this whole situation sucks, right? It's whether do you tell him right then and there, or do you wait and let him go through everybody and touch everybody? I don't even know, man. It just the whole situation sucks, right? I mean, hopefully a month from now we're done with all this bullshit of COVID and mask off. But yeah, we are still dealing with some of the lingering effects. But Paul, what's your take on that?
I mean, I guess you got to tell him obviously right after the round, and I know you got to be careful when you tell him, but you got to tell him, go to the scores tent, and right before he goes into the scores room, whatever you want to call it, just be like, "Hey, John, we got to talk to you over here," that kind of thing.
Right, that's not on camera, on national TV.
Yeah, not on camera, not right off the green. The guy has a 6-shot lead going into Saturday. The guy's hype he's about to make.
Yeah.
I mean, he could probably shoot 75 tomorrow, coast in and friggin' cash that 1.7, whatever the check is.
1.6.
And what's his world ranking right now? Number 3. JT and DJ, they weren't in the mix, so he could have jumped up possibly to number 1 in the world.
He was going to jump up to number 1 in FedEx Cup at least. So.
Well, yeah, I'm not FedEx Cup, whatever. But I'm just talking world ranking. That's what the guys look for. Is he could have been that much closer to being number 1 in the world, and that was just taken away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn this conversation political. Trust me, I'm not in the mood for that today. But I think they could have I think something could have been done for him to not just get the hook, line, and sinker. All right, see you, John. Let's test some people. Let's figure this out. Let's give them a couple other tests, and let's see what happens.
The only problem with that is how the PGA Tour has been handling it through the entire thing. Is they're sticking with since the vaccine rollout and everything. I guess players still need to be tested twice a week, which they've always been throughout the entire whole pandemic thing, and people have had to withdraw from tournaments in the middle of it on Saturday after rounds. It's just this one is the biggest one because he had a 6-shot lead going into the final round. And that was the biggest thing is he had a huge lead. It wasn't he was, I don't know.
It was essentially a lock on Sunday if John Rahm was on that field. I mean,
it's not like he was Lucas Glover.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
I mean, had a hole in one to start, finish up round 2 on what was it, 16, and then picked up, hit the third round hard and shot a 64. He made that course look pretty easy, and there's a lot of guys who were struggling or just shooting around even par. It was a sight to see. Every shot was hitting the green. Every shot was birdieable or even going for eagles. It was fantastic to see it end that way. It was just really, it's just not good for that situation. I mean, I can't wait until we're all beyond this. We don't have to worry about this as an excuse to be withdrawn, not even yourself, but to withdraw from a Sunday. I mean, $1.6 million that guy had to cough up and get. Does he even make money from this? I don't know.
No, he finishes in 116th place.
Yeah,
it's brutal. It's brutal.
So that goes to Colin Morikawa and Cantlay. Do they cut him a little check? Just be like, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier. And I think I saw I think I saw the Four Plate Boys brief. One of them touched on this today, and I thought it was a great point. This Cantlay, do they put together a match? $100,000 each for his charity or something, show some sort of hey man, we feel bad for you kind of move. I think that'd be really classy. Will they do it? Probably not.
No.
But but I mean that would be a cool move. And I think this kind of builds on I love motivation and I love narratives. So Jon Rahm US Open.
Oh, I thought the same thing.
Let's fuel the tank. Let's batten down the hatches because we're going all in with Jon Rahm in a couple of weeks. As if his talent wasn't. That's the thing. As if his talent wasn't enough. Mm-hmm. His talent is plenty. Fuck the narrative. His talent is plenty to go beat the hell out of Torrey Pines in a couple of weeks. But now you're gonna add. They're gonna add this, and that was a big tournament. That was Jack's tournament. That tournament's a big deal for them. I touched on it a couple. Yeah.
Check this out. So his quarantine goes all the way until I think it's Tuesday, the week of the U.S. Open, right? So everybody's getting there early. They're practicing. He gets out he has to quarantine till Tuesday. Wednesday he can fly out there. I'm sure he's going to have to fly out.
Even if he gets multiple tests and shit every day.
That's what I was going to say. Is it until he tests negative?
Until he tests negative. Apparently I know he has to quarantine regardless, apparently to Tuesday. And so even if he has to, I don't even know if he tests positive, he can get out of it. Maybe, I hope. I mean, love to get him there. But quarantine, from what CBS was saying, was until Tuesday. And then he's got to fly out on a charter to California. If he's quarantining in Ohio, I don't know if he went back to.
He's flying.
He's got to be back somewhere, right?
DJs.
So, but flies out to California on Wednesday, and then plays one practice round probably late in the afternoon, and then just goes out and play. He's got to be practicing now, and I love the pick for Jon Rahm U.S. Open.
But not seeing the course is a disadvantage. Not seeing the course is a disadvantage.
So,
but I mean,
I'd argue that if it was, Oakmont or Shinnecock, a place that's not in a normal PGA Tour event course,
that's why
they play at Torrey all the time. He's won at
He played
Torrey
the Farmers?
before, hasn't he?
Yeah,
hasn't he won the Farmers before? So, I know that a regular PGA Tour event doesn't equal up to a U.S. Open and how it's going to be set up. I'm sure they've lengthened it, changed some greens, maybe moved a bunker around, that kind of thing. But he knows the course, so
yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. If it was at a place like Shinnecock, it would be a problem. But
yeah. This is a good transition over to Colin Morikawa and Patrick Cantlay. We'll talk about them briefly here. Just how they went back and forth on Sunday, literally back and forth. I don't think any one of these guys wanted to win. It just looked like they were just coughing it up, and I don't know. It was kind of a mess.
But I believe both those names, TJ, were said by this bogey-proof group last week.
Absolutely was.
Quite frequently. I know Murph mentioned Cantlay, and we hit on that one, which is awesome.
Nice job,
and Morikawa, yeah, absolutely. That was a great one. And I know Morikawa was liked by 4 out of the 4 the bogey-proof boys here, without a question. So, with the gambling lab boards or whatever you want to call it.
We've provided a good amount of picks that have been right thus far since we started this little gambling lab. So for those listeners that are out there, please follow us, subscribe, find a way to listen to this podcast, because there are some money plays out there, and we're just trying to help the people, right? We're for the people. But we mentioned
Murph, has
these guys.
Shane Lowry been playing a ton of good golf?
Yes.
Has he?
He's playing a ton of very, very good golf.
He came
right before
in
the Open too. It's
that was
kinda
a top
strange.
5, right? For him, third or fourth.
Go look at
Yeah.
his recent playing. He's been very,
kinda
very good.
hooping out.
Great golf. It's quiet.
Good for him.
Yeah, he'll be a good
For
play
him.
for the U.S. Open. But
When
to
he
go back-
won at the home country that one tournament. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was just the Open or something.
just the Open. I keep saying U.S.
Yeah.
The Open.
Just the Open. Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
when he won
mixed
at the
up on
Open,
my-
This
that
was a major
was
champ.
that
It
was
a major
intense.
championship. You know.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
really
sick, actually.
And he didn't just win it too. He waxed the entire field.
Yeah, at home.
He
too,
ran away
literally
with
your
that one.
backyard.
I
Yeah.
remember like seeing screaming drunk fans and watching that. That was intense.
Because it was like him and Rory had, the entire country behind him, and Rory made like
Yeah.
wad to start the tournament. It was like, oh my god.
And then Shane, that was sick.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred. So one of our other Gambling Lab episodes, you mentioned Patrick Cantley. Just when was the time that he was going to take off? You kind of called him underrated a little bit, and we kind of talked how he was overrated. Well, what is he now? I mean, that's a heck of a course. Granted, there's an asterisk next to it, but I mean, he still played some great golf, made some sick putts. The guy's
I mean,
putter. Talk more about
he's
that.
He's a stud. I mean, I've always thought of him as a stud. Picked him hundreds of times in DraftKings. There's no question about that. And I think I get definitely looking back on that, because I do remember that quote. I think underrated was probably the wrong word. I definitely and when I say underrated, I saw a ton of exposure to him on DraftKings and what have you. So I think maybe just waiting for a breakout was exactly what was going on, and obviously we caught that pretty soon after mentioning him, which was cool. But he's been. He's been a $9,500 to $10,500 golfer on DraftKings for like 3-4 years now. He's rock solid, consistent golfer. Definitely kind of a weirdo. Like barely broke a smile on the green after he made the putt. I was like, dude, please relax.
Baby Brooks.
You can relax now. But Brooks smiles at least.
Yeah.
In the end, Brooks I got a hot, wife and shit. So there's plenty to smile about. And I think we should also touch on the quick Bryson and Brooks little meme war, and the thing that Brooks did of sending all the people beer is probably one of the most electric moves I've seen by any human being in professional sports. I mean, just so harmless, but yet such a dig too at the same time. It was just absolutely brilliant.
Paul, let me ask this question. Is there real estate in Bryson's head right now owned by Brooks?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, with what happened going on this week, Brooksy and all this, there has to be, right? I don't think there's no doubt in my mind. If you're kicking people out for saying Brooksy, I mean, you know how many terrible things are said at sporting events, and of all things, that's what somebody's getting kicked out for? Come on.
Yeah, and Bryson as a emerging star in golf has really, that was honestly, you need to know, think about, you can think about any sport, right? Yankee Red Sox rivalries, any rivalries you want to think of. You never fuel the fire, ever. And all Bryson was doing was fueling the fire. Dude, you watch old videos of Kobe and Tiger and shit, how locked in they are. That's what you need to be. That's the state you need to be. You are adding fuel to his fire, and all you're going to do is make people say it more. That's oh, I can get in trouble for him saying that. He's hearing me, right? You're giving people the satisfaction, oh, Bryson knows I know Bryson's going to hear me say that. And TJ, you know me a long time. When we go to a golf tournament next and I see Bryson, I'm fucking screaming that shit. I don't know, man. I might yell.
At the Travelers Championship.
I might yell at the end of the day, 17th hole, when Bryson's probably in fourth.
Right before this, I was scrolling through Instagram and saw a little video of someone writing in Bryson's champion locker at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, "Let's go, Brooksy." They had a pen, and inside the locker,
oh
the
my
champions
goodness.
room.
Yeah, because that's in a couple
years
weeks,
ago.
right?
Yeah, someone was writing, "Let's go, Brooksy," inside the locker. So he'll
Dude,
open it up. Well, I'm sure some, he'll probably
it'll
send a
get
message.
removed, but still, dude,
Locker room
that's what
attendant's
I'm
painting
saying.
over tomorrow
All
morning.
he did
but-
is throwing gas. He's just chucking gas on this.
He did
like
he did throw a lot of shade on himself. But
you just make yourself look like a dick. Like, deal with it. Everyone's
Oh, yeah.
dealing with it. You need to deal with it too. Like, be a grown man. Once again, let's
one
deal with
day
it.
these guys are going to be best friends, and I can't wait. But like right now, what we got going on and everything in golf, let's keep it going. Keep the rivalry going. Like I want to see these guys. Like I want
It's good
this
for the
feud-
game.
Oh, it's great for the game. I want this feud to go to the Travelers. I want them to go to U.S. Open. I want them in a group together
And
now.
Keith,
Like,
No,
right.
no, I'm
What?
against that. I
you
don't want
them
them
in a
in.
group?
I want it to be organic. I can't have them set up and paired together.
Oh, no.
on
And
Thursday
then,
and
you know what,
Friday.
Paul?
Yes.
Paul, I know what you mean, but
Final
they
pairing.
always do that. They always do that stuff.
I know,
by the way.
but I need it on like a Saturday or Sunday. Just
I
them
agree.
two,
Yes.
not
Yes.
playing on a
Right.
Thursday, Friday with a threesome. Just them two playing
Right.
together.
Right.
Late on
Don't
a Saturday at
overblow
Torrey?
it.
You kidding
Right.
me? Oh
Make
my
it
gosh.
organic. I couldn't agree more. And
Yeah.
what's going to happen now on the flip side, they're both going to probably be in a Ryder Cup team. So, like, what, obviously they keep them away. Like,
Team them up.
that kind of bad camaraderie could hurt the squad, and we just got,
they're not going to play together. They're not going to play
Right.
together at all. So it's
Keep
just
your
like
distance. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, DJ was always playing with Brooks, I think, and I forget who else Brooks played with the last Ryder Cup. Bryson was playing with, I think, Tiger a lot, and he played with JT or Spieth one day. I think.
Although all
But-
it takes is Bryson to turn up at the Ryder Cup,
True.
and then he brings his reputation back
To
up.
Bryson Sanders, he is not playing the best of golf, and if he is playing the best of golf, and you get Brooks playing the best of golf, I'd love to see it like final pairing or in the Ryder Cup, both of them doing well. But I could imagine if the U.S. loses in the Ryder Cup, Brooks shoots well, Bryson shoots terrible. Brooks says something on the side, just they're still got their feud going, just pisses them off a little bit. Because it's great. It's like it's just little comments here or there that just rub into you, and they both don't like each other, and it's fantastic. But
Yeah, it's great. But speaking of Brooksy, you want to talk Palmetto? He is in
yeah,
the field.
so with that,
Who's-
does this
who's
give
that
Brooks some
going? Is that
added?
me?
Does Brooks have some fire under his ass? Is he got to go out there shoot well? He got U.S.
No.
Open coming up next week. What's this week gonna look like for him?
I don't know. Probably like shit.
Or do we just
Yeah.
don't know because it's the Parmesan Championship? But really, just I don't know.
The
I mean, we
teams
got-
I'm making, I can't even describe them.
When I saw Jonathan Vegas at 8,300, I almost wanted to throw up. This week sucks. This week is not ideal. This is definitely pick a guy in the 8,000s range on DK. I think if you're making who's going to win or coming to top 5, top 10, top 20, you pick a top guy and you don't do much of it. You just put your money in, put a small amount. You just pay attention briefly, check it here or there, and then just wait till Sunday, find a winner, and get ready for U.S. Open next week.
Vincent's in the field. Am I echoing? Who's echoing?
Sure. But I did see our guy, Vincent Whaley, is
Of course.
back. 16 of 21, hasn't missed a cut since, what was it, the Pebble Beach Pro-Am? Vincent.
Why don't we keep this quick? Let's do 3 each. Let's do a high tier, a mid tier, and a low tier.
Okay.
What do you like?
Can I classify Vincent as 7,700 a low tier? Because I really don't want to
Yes.
go below that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because looking at everybody, like, I don't want to pick Jason Duffner at 7,200. Or how about McCumber at 68? Like, I'd rather stay at the
This field is
7,700. I'm not going any further below that if I do. My mid-range guy that I'm looking like the 8s, the 9s. I don't know. I have a hunch on Kisner. I think
I have a Kisner
South
on the
Carolina. I think Kiz is used to this area, even though he's from Georgia. Supposed to play fast, quick. Kiz kind of plays well to that extent. So I like Kiz there. And then at the top, I'm picking DJ. Right before a major, I think DJ finds a way to get some motivation, even though it is a slap around Johnson, as we like to call it here on this segment. But DJ is going to go out there and get ready for next week. That is my prediction. And that will be my lock of the week is DJ going in the top 10, although I do want to see him win this week.
Love that. What do you got, Paulie?
I know we usually have Weatherman Wireback around, but I just want to note that there's supposedly some weather coming in Thursday afternoon and could go into Friday morning. And so when you're looking at the weekend waves, Thursday morning players could be better in playing the Friday afternoon wave. Those Thursday, Friday afternoons. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe they'll just cancel the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well, honestly.
That would be good.
Is this worth, just hand out the 500 FedEx Cup points to, some spectator? I don't know.
Yeah, give it to Alex Noren or something. He's
Give it to
trying hard
Vincent.
lately.
Give it to Vincent.
Yeah,
Give it to
seriously.
Hey, it's good to see that. What's his name? Hey, Mr. Gilmore, we're caddy, which is Alex Torres. He's not playing this week, boys. Thank God.
It's a miracle. Oh, my God.
I guess if I had to pick three people rapid fire, I'll go Tyrell Hatton, Richie Rensky, Arnold Varner. Those three.
Oh, Tyrell Hatton just made it. I'm doing two teams this week, keeping it light, keeping it tight. I like to just sprinkle a little action because this tournament, Paul, is going to be the guy who wins it on DFS. It's literally going to be, who can guess the best? I'm bored, so I'm going to make a DraftKings lineup. Oh, look at that. I won $1 million.
I honestly, it might be impossible to go wrong this week because you just have no clue. You can't be pissed at yourself.
I've actually won a good amount of money on these tournaments because I have zero clue. So I just look at some of the stats and go, oh, these guys have made a lot of cuts and they're not a high salary. So, I'll take it.
You find some money in the crumbs,
Yeah, money in the
crumbs. You gotta find it. I'm doing lighter entry fee lineups too this week. More like that $5 tournament. I'm all over that this week.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too crazy, but you still want to have some, just a good entry point here. We're saving up the funds for U.S. Open. Obviously, we're going to throw down coming then and Travelers as well. But I like Sanjay is probably going to be my top tier guy this week. I do like Hatton as well, Paulie. So I like both those options. I have exposure to both of them, but Sanjay's probably my favorite top tier of the week. Don't ask me why. Just have a feeling. I think he putts well on these greens. I don't know. Sanjay's. I don't have any explanation for anything going on this week. All I know is that John Rahm got booted for no reason. But next, I like bounce back from Luke List. He's 7,900. This place is wide open. Luke List is honestly, us three, we could definitely all putt better than Luke List. He's the worst putter in history. But I'm hoping that, he can find some fairways and some greens, and we'll see what happens. And TJ, I love Kisner as well. It's a great pick. Our guy Vincent still starting to creep up in price. Maybe this is when we give Vincent a rest.
Yeah, but look who's ahead.
Look at the field. Look at the field.
Yeah, the field is
such a weak field. So on a regular PJ Tour week, is he back down by I don't even know, what is he this week?
77.
77. Is he back down 72 on a normal week?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then also I was looking at, I know I like to, maybe you try to ride on these easier courses, try to ride some decently hot hands that, a good example is you look at Pat Perez, he's made the last 5 or 6 cuts in a row. So playing some good golf and, he's going to stroll onto this course, which looks like it's going to be pretty, barring all weather issues, which could always create problems. It's probably a place where a guy like him could succeed. Really, really low ownership you'll get. And if it hits, it hits. So it's always pleasant. If you can grab a really low ownership, top 5 play, you'll be cashing most likely, unless the rest of your team's a absolute disaster. You'll probably be in good shape,
Absolutely. Outside of that, boys, I mean, this is a tournament where brand new, really not playing. They haven't, Paul? They haven't played an event here at this field, right?
Course is 4 years old. It's
4
brand
years
new.
old, new,
just made.
Gonna be rolling fast. Yeah, just brand new. So we're gonna get a lot of information this week. See how it is.
Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
One more player I had was, I knew I was forgetting someone, and it was my last lower value player, 7,500, Seamus Power. Irish boy, Byron Nelson did well. But that's going to be my low value play of the week. Watch for his name, baby. Seamus week, baby. Let's go.
I love that. But outside of that, honestly, this course, we don't know much about it. And so it'll be good to watch some golf this weekend. Just have some low risk and see anybody who sticks out. You might pick up something this week. You never know. That might be used for our next Gambling Lab segment. But other than that, boys, thanks for jumping on here tonight. We'll if you guys are listening to this, please check out our new TikTok that we've just released. We have some awesome videos. More to come with that. Share, subscribe on our YouTube page. We have a ton of content that we're going to continuously put out there. And then also follow our Instagram story, engage with us. Tell us where you're golfing at and where you're sipping from. So thanks, boys. Appreciate your time and look forward to doing this again soon.
Let's get it.